Where to start with your handpan? Let me show you around. My name is Sunni Holden and today I'm going to give you a full tour of the handpan's anatomy. And make sure to hit that subscribe button because it really helps me bring you more content that will inspire you. We're going to start off by having a look at the home note, most commonly known as the ding. Personally I call it a dung because it doesn't go ding. But we'll talk about that another time. This note often determines the scale of the instrument. For example, this ding here is in the key of D, telling us that the scale is in the key of D. This celestial sound instrument is in the key of C sharp. This Yishama instrument is in the key of F sharp. You can also have dings and notes on the bottom. Typically these don't determine the scale of the instrument though. An instrument could have as little as 9 or 10 notes, which is great to start on. However, some more advanced and progressive instruments may have up to 30 notes, and there is no need to go there right now, unless you're like me and you really want to. Now we are going to have a look at the tone fields, the flat and circular part of each note. Ta-da! This is the part of the instrument that we typically and most commonly make contact with that delivers a clear and resonant sound. You can also dampen it. The smaller the tone field, the higher the pitch. The bigger the tone field, the lower the pitch. These are the dimples. These not only maintain the shape of the note, but they also influence the tone of the note. When struck, it's like you're taking all the highs out of the tone field when being played on the dimples. Dimple, tone field. Dimple, tone field. These here are referred to as the shoulder of the note. And much like the dimples, they also hold the shape. But when being played, however, they really give you the percussive side of the pitches this instrument can give you. Now let's explore something invisible, being the harmonic area, which is basically a point on the axis of every note. So when you press your finger ever so slightly on it, and then play it with your other hand, you'll get one of the two harmonics in the note, depending on where you've placed your pressing finger. I could place it here, on the long axis, or on the shorter axis. This is with every note. Let me give you an example. You can also do this on the ding. You can also bend the harmonics. Harmonics may not be something that you first venture into, but as your handpan journey progresses, I feel that you will really enjoy exploring these elements. This here, pretty much everywhere there isn't a note, is the interstitial, and it is actually the strongest part of the instrument. This is also where we can play a lot of percussive elements, like this, 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 and even this. These are great to incorporate into your playing as you progress. This here, around the instrument, is the rim, and this is where the top shell and the bottom shell meet and are glued together. You can't really play this area unless you want to risk hurting your finger and go, ouch. And last, but definitely not least, the goo. I think I heard myself there. This is where most of the resonance is released, and it is also good for handpan makers when they need to get their tools and hands in to tune. It is also great for hiding your Easter eggs. And if you play it, it'll sound like this. This interstitial area on the bottom shell next to the goo is great for percussive play like this. And then you can incorporate the goo. Hello? That pretty much wraps up handpan anatomy. However, coming back to that ding situation from earlier, this goes ding. This goes dung. I hope this video really helps you on your handpan journey, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.